Calling the Toronto Police Services Board, Diana Akeem. 416-808-7265.
Board office, Anna speaking.
Good morning, Diana. This is Dion Renee calling. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I continue, thank you. What time did you send me that email yesterday, please?
What time I sent it?
Yes.
It was late afternoon.
Like, what was the time? Can you check for me, please?
I can check. Let me just see. Sorry, I have to go into my email if you bear with me
Oh,
for a
no
minute.
problem.
Sorry, give me 1 minute. Can I put you on hold for a minute? I'm just checking.
Oh, you already told me you were checking.
Thank you. Sorry about that. So I found it. I sent it at 5:38.
Right, after you're no longer available.
Sorry?
Diana.
I worked all day up until late last night, so I was available.
Well, but nobody presumes to call after a business hour, right? So,
I still got calls and emails up until all the way through the night. So.
I'm sorry?
But anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
So I'm calling you because I had 2 confirmations that my information was received and that I'm on the list. And then I got this message from you this morning that I'm reading that says that the chair doesn't have the ability to say that someone doesn't get to speak to an issue. And moreover, that there were problems in accessing and getting the information to your website. So I had made 4 attempts and finally got it through to you all. And when I had it confirmed by 2 different administrators there, I'm surprised at this. So I'm curious as to why this is. Like, it doesn't make sense as beyond the deadline. I was not beyond the deadline. You guys have been beyond the deadline. You didn't submit the information on time to the public as required by your own bylaws. And even then, as required by the Act. So you can't break your own rules and then expect somebody else to be within a timeline or suggest that somebody else is outside of your rules.
I understand your frustration.
No. Here's the thing, Diana. I know you're going to tell me all this. Oh, I appreciate that, but I'm only following what the chair is doing. You guys cannot do this because this is exactly what I was saying to Danielle yesterday, that this method that you guys are using now is under the cloud of the COVID-19, but I'm sure this is the method you'd like to do, considering you have the power to exclude people. And that is exactly what we're watching you guys for, to exclude people from participation. So the only thing that could have been said was that I was late. And that's exactly what you guys said. Meanwhile, you guys were late. So you, as the people who the bylaws are for, if you don't follow your own bylaws, and then when somebody is trying to get through and you set up a system that doesn't allow people to get emails in, I'm not blaming you guys, but I'm saying it's kind of suspicious. And then you tell somebody that they were late? No, it's kind of suspicious. So
yeah, it was, as I said, it was the chair's decision.
The chair doesn't have that power. I know you guys are trying to change. No, you guys are trying to change the bylaws to give the chair that power. But the chair does not have the power to exclude people from meetings or participating. That's exactly what the Act says. The Act says that it has to be open to the public. The chair doesn't have power to exclude the public.
He's not excluding the public. He just...
I am the public.
No, I'm not saying you're not the public. I'm just saying that his decision was based on the bylaw not to accept a deputation that was late, because the bylaw specifies that in order to submit a deputation, it has to fulfill the requirements. and one of them is to submit it by noon, the day before the meeting. And so when I received it, and Sandy received it, she confirmed receipt, not confirmed that the deputation was accepted and put it on the list. And what happened was then I forwarded your request to the chair, and
which request?
A decision.
You mean my email that I wanted my written documentation to be included?
Yes, just the whole email. I submitted to the chair and asked him to make a decision based on that.
The chair cannot make a decision to exclude. That's what I'm highlighting for you, right? And to try to use some sort of sophistry to suggest that, oh, well, she was late. When you all set up a system that creates a problem in accessing it and submitting the documentation, or that you feel that you can just exclude people and say, oh, well, they're late, when you were late. Like, that's a sham. That's a sham. I'd like to speak with Mr. Hart. Put him on the phone, please.
Oh, he's not here. So
you have his number, Diana.
His personal number? I cannot give his personal number.
Well, somebody's just responding saying, I don't know. Who is that? Ryan Teschner?
Sorry?
Is that Ryan Teschner talking in your ear?
We are getting ready for the public meeting, which you can follow on YouTube.
What I'm saying is that this is exactly what you guys would like to do, is exclude people. Put Ryan on the phone for me, please. Because I can hear him in the background. Put Ryan Teschner on the phone for me, please.
He is on the phone. And I'm dealing with the
I'm not wanting. No, but Diana, I'm calling you about exclusion, and you're going to be, not you, but you all will be in a lot of trouble, because this is exactly what the public believes that you're trying to do with this method, to exclude people. So when you're late and you don't do what you're supposed to do, you guys want to exclude people. And so you're not feeling embarrassed that you're doing this, because you don't feel like anybody can hear about this. And that is the sham of this organization. So I'm saying, I've called you, you're on the line, do not disconnect, and put me on to Ryan Teschner. He's heard what you've said. You've already told him I'm on the line. Put him on the line, seeing that you don't seem to have the chair's number.
It's not that I don't have the chair's number. It's we're about to start the public meeting.
Yeah, at 9 o'clock, and you've got a problem with regards to the deputations, because two different people confirmed that I was on it, and all said I'm not. Just because you don't like what I'm just because you guys don't like what I'm deputing on does not give you that authority or right to exclude me. And to try to use some sham excuse about my thing was being late when you guys were late is absolute hypocrisy. So please put Ryan Teschner on the line.
The chair's decision.
No. Okay. Put Ryan Teschner on the line. I directly asked you this. And I'm telling you, if you do not put Ryan on the line, I will be publishing this call. Because this is exactly the shame that we keep talking about, that this board is a sham and really does not listen to the public, does not want to hear from the public, and does not want to yield to the things that are so simple to do, including for the fact of you guys pretending that you're doing something right.
This is your own opinion, and I respect
No,
that,
it's not my own opinion. Is it? Did you guys not post your information late on the website?
The chair will address that at the meeting.
No. The question is, because you're the administrator, and your title is lined up in that information as it relates to the agenda in your own bylaws. Did the information get posted later than the bylaw timeline on your website?
We posted the information on Monday.
That's right. And is that within the timeline that your own bylaw says?
We posted it as soon as
is it in the timeline that your own bylaw says?
I believe the bylaw says within 5 business days.
Right. So was that within the timeline that your bylaw says, Diana? If you have a meeting today, which is Friday, and you posted it on Monday, is that within the timeline that your own bylaws say?
It was not within the 5
Exactly.
business days.
That is
As I
exactly
said, the
my
chair will
point. No. The chair needs to either speak to me or Ryan needs to speak to me. And that's what I want done. That's why I'm calling to speak with you all, because you guys do not get to not follow your own bylaw and then try to use an excuse and tell somebody else that they have to follow your bylaw. No, you don't get to do that. That's hypocrisy. So please put Ryan Teschner on. I know he's afraid to talk to me, but you put him on the line. Because I know he's behind this.
I cannot put him on the
Yes,
on the
you
line
can, because he's right there. And the reality is you can also put the chair on the line because you have his number. You're using technology that can allow you to do that. And the purpose of not doing that is to try to exclude my deputations, which include the failure of this board to hire someone who understands the processes, and also the failure of this board continually to hear the public. So I would like you to put Ryan Teschner on the line, because I'm here and I'm telling you, I will publicize this call.
I understand what you're saying. As I said,
What am I saying, Diana?
But that you would like to speak to them. But as I said, right now we are about to start a public meeting.
It has no bearing on me. It has no bearing on me. No, Diana, it has no bearing on me that you're telling me the same thing that I expected you to tell me. What I'm saying very specifically, I'm on the line to do exactly that, to speak to them. The meeting supposedly starts at 9. You guys are oftentimes late. You are often late in starting your meetings. This is not going to be something new if it becomes late, but there's no need for it to be late. You know that I was supposed to speak. The public knows that I was going to speak. And you guys are purposely excluding my participation. And I'm saying put Ryan Teschner on the line because he's the executive director. He has an accountability to respond to the public if it inquired. You're refusing to let me speak to the chair, which is what I would ordinarily do. So
I'm not refusing. It's just not feasible at this moment.
No, it is feasible because it's a simple phone call. We're using technology. That's a very feasible thing.
We are in the middle of starting a meeting.
You're not in the middle because it's 8:39 and this meeting starts at 9 o'clock. And I've already been on this line with you for at least 12 minutes. So within that time, you could have connected me. You could have done all of that. So I'm saying, Diana, rather than trying to watch Ryan's lips mouth to you, oh, don't let her talk, just put him on the line. Put him on the line. Because you guys don't get to exclude people, especially when you were late in putting up the information. You don't get to do that. That's exactly what the chair doesn't have that power, is what I'm trying to tell you. I know you guys are trying to, no, you guys are trying to change the bylaw to allow them to have certain powers. And regardless, the bylaw attempts are not justifiable. You don't want me to speak to these issues. This is exactly why you're trying to exclude. And using this method, because you guys get to click a button to exclude people, is exactly the complaint that we have against, knowing that this whole thing is a sham. So like I said, you've been wasting my time rather than putting Ryan or the chair on the line. And this now has been, it is an option because you're using telephones, right? You're using a system that can easily patch. It is so an option.
Well, as I already explained to you, it's not an option at this time, and I would appreciate.
No, Diana, it is an option because the reality is, if we were there in person, this is how I'm explaining to you that you were excluding. If we were there in person, the chair would have to speak with me. But he's using this method now to hide behind, and this is exactly what I said to Diana Dowdy yesterday, that the public expects you to exclude him because that is always your intention. You don't want to be scrutinized. You don't want to be accountable. You always want to control the process. And so you are taking advantage of this at this time. When you try to suggest to someone that they are late for an agenda item, when you were late in posting it, that's a problem. And for the chair to say that he's refusing the request, on what basis? But the thing is, you guys have no willingness to explain anything. So you can't just refuse things plain out, right? I get to speak to the items.
To explain it.
How, you did not explain. You just said the section whatever. Well, yeah, why? The question is why?
And that was the chair's decision, as I told you
yes,
earlier.
But that's why I asked to speak to the
there's nothing
chair.
I can do about that.
That's why I asked to speak to the chair.
And I will pass your information.
No,
as
it's
I
not a pass the information on, because my expectation is to participate, and right now you're excluding. So it is not a pass the information on. I called you before 8:30 or by 8:30. You've taken up already almost 15 minutes saying the same thing over again when you could have put me to the chair.
Because that's not an option I have, as I already told you.
No, but you're the administrator there, and you do have that option when I'm requesting to speak to the chair. If it was in public, see, what you guys are doing is breaching the AODA, for example, in that you're using a method to create barriers for engagement and to follow the charter. And this is exactly what we knew you would do with this system, and you're going to try to use this as a framework to suggest that this is how you can hold meetings when we say, no, we don't even want you to exist. We think this board should be disbanded, and you already know that. So you don't like me because I call you guys to account. You don't want me to say something. So the reality is to just refuse somebody's request. What for?
I'm not refusing your request. It's just the timing of your request. It makes it.
But Diana, you've had now more than 15 minutes to try something, and instead, right from the outset, you said no. That's a refusing of the request. Right? From the outset, you said, no, you didn't make an attempt. You didn't speak to, well, I know you probably said, oh, Dion Renee's on the line to Ryan, because I could hear him in the background. But the reality is that you didn't actually make an attempt.
Because I know how it is when we are just before a meeting and we have to be on the line prior to the meeting to make sure everybody's there. I know the process, and it's not like I refused you. It's just because I know the current timing and situation we are in. It would be impossible for him to talk to you on the phone right now.
No, because
so
the chair doesn't have any role before 9 o'clock. The chair doesn't have a role before 9 o'clock. Ryan Teschner doesn't have
with the public, but he does have a role.
Ryan Teschner doesn't have a role before 9 o'clock. If you guys don't know your agenda by now, you still got problems, right? And the problem is your agenda has changed so many times that it's that
was out of our control, as I think we posted it on the news release.
No, everything is within your control. If you stack your agenda as I indicated in my submission, if you stack your agenda, if you submit things late, all of that is within your control. And so it is now 8:45. We've been on this call for over 17 minutes. Within that time frame, at the outset of my call, you could have put me to, but the point is you don't want to because you're told not to. And that is where I'm talking about the exclusion. And I am going to post this call online for everyone to hear it, because this is exactly what we're saying that you guys are doing. And for Ryan to be in the background telling you not to put me through or anything, you guys
he did not tell me.
Well, I can't believe that based on everything else that this board has shown. And the reality is that I'm saying to you, it's a sham. And you guys love this opportunity to be able to exclude people and keep them out without any ability to respond, right? If you're going to say that you're denying somebody's request, why? You can't just say, well, section such says I can. No, you have to say why. You can't just exclude me. I'm supposed to speak to every agenda item. So which one are you denying my request for? Every single one? Despite the details in my email? That's ridiculous. So put him on the line.
I think I already explained the circumstances.
No, that's not a circumstance. It's an excuse. To exclude someone is something that you cannot do as the board. The Police Service Act, which is now the COPS Act, the Comprehensive, I don't even remember what the O stands for, but regardless, the acronym is COPS, says that you cannot exclude the members of the public from participating in the meeting. So if this was in person, this wouldn't be happening. So you at the time were using the exclusion of creating barriers at the front entrance, and you've just patched into the line, make sure they're clear on this. You first used the entrance to the building as barriers that you created to breach people's rights of access so that we can go to the meeting. Then you not even first. Yes, that was first. It was either first or the police with the armed police standing right beside deputants. You know, there are an entire situation of events that you guys create to try to minimize who attends and how many people attend. And it's very telling of this board. You make claims all the time that you guys want to not continue anti-Black racism or discrimination, but these are exactly the actions that do that. You've been on this call now for over, let's just go back to the timing, 20 minutes. And you could have put me into Ryan or the chair.
I hear what you're saying.
No, but that's the response the board always says. The board always says those pat answers. I hear what you're saying. We're listening. Pardon?
I said, this is my answer.
But you're working for the board, Diana. That's the point I'm making, right?
Yes, but what I'm trying to say is that it's not that I don't want to put you on or excluding you.
Okay, put me to Danielle Dowdy then, please. Put me to Danielle.
She's not beside me right now.
No, I appreciate that she's not beside you. But the person who is Ryan. And I'm saying, put me to Ryan. And it still hasn't happened.
And as I said, it's not because I don't want to put you through. It's because of the circumstance of us preparing for the meeting and the timing of your call.
My timing of my call was before 8:30, so it was in advance of whatever concerns you could have possibly had. But instead, I've been on the line with you, debating the issue for over 21 minutes.
I understand. I can put you on hold and double check, okay? Is that okay with you?
Diana, that's what you did the first time, right?
Well, yeah, but it seems that maybe we are not on the same page, so I want to make sure you are reassured.
Put Ryan on the line.
So I'm going to put you on hold, double check, and get back to you. Is that okay?
Please put Ryan Teschner on the line.
I'll get back to you in a second. Hello?
Hello?
Hi. So I double-checked, as I said I will, and I've tried to accommodate your request. Unfortunately,
how did you try to accommodate my request, Diana?
I've tried to verify if I can put them on the line.
With whom?
So put Ryan on the line.
Yeah, with whom?
Sorry?
With whom?
I verified that.
With whom? With Ryan. So you did speak to Ryan again?
I double-checked. If we can, but right now we are in the middle. We are actually on
Diana,
to
keep saying right now.
I cannot.
1 second, Diana. To keep saying right now, we're trying to do something. The point is, you're not going to resolve this. You have a meeting the entire day today on agenda items, and I'm wanting to speak to number one, including all the other agenda items. So to tell me you can't do it right now, you're not going to do it at all. That is the point I'm making. You cannot exclude me from this entire process. And I'm saying put the chair on the line. Go ahead.
I was trying to finish what I was saying in terms that I tried to accommodate your request, and unfortunately, because of the timing and circumstances, I can't. I did explain to you that the decision of the chair, which I emailed to you, was specific, and therefore it hasn't changed. So unfortunately,
it was not specific. I'm going to read. It was not specific. This is exactly what the decision says. So it wasn't specific. It says Chair Hart decided pursuant to the procedural bylaw to not accept your deputation request. Your deputation request was submitted past the deadline, as well as it does not meet the requirements listed under our procedural bylaw 17C, that the request must set out the particulars of the matter and include a copy of any materials that will be presented, where that is a lie. There are three attachments to the actual submission that I made. So that's a lie. I set out the details in there. So that's a lie. So the only thing he's trying to claim is that my thing was late when you guys posted late.
As I already
and if your email is, if the reception of your,
there's nothing I can do.
If the reception of your email is set up so that people are late in submitting because you're whatever, there's too many people trying to submit or whatever the issue was, that's not my responsibility. My thing is to submit to you. I had 2 confirmations saying that I'm on there. In fact, I spoke to one person specifically that I was speaking to all the agenda items. You all know this. So the point is to do this after the fact and try to suggest that it is as a result of, you said 17C. What's 17C? What's 17C, Diana?
That way, but I want you to know that there's many other people who emailed me and submitted their deputation request past the deadline.
It has nothing to
do the same thing with every single one.
It doesn't have anything to do with me. The point that is, if I'm not the only one, that confirms that there may have been an issue with your own website. The reality is for your
there were no issues with our
You don't
website.
know that if you're telling me that there were many people that you were trying to reach to. Look at the time when my thing was submitted, 12/11. I tried 4 attempts to submit. And further to that, Diana, further to that, you guys were late. So that is the hypocrisy that is the glaring light in your face, is that the hypocrisy is that you guys were late. You were late in making the submissions. You didn't follow your own bylaws. No, the chair doesn't get to just exclude people from the chair doesn't get to exclude people from addressing things and by saying, "Oh, here's how we're addressing this." That's an exclusion. That's what I'm telling you.
I'm sorry.
No, Diana.
But it's not excluding.
That's exactly what it is. You can't just tell me something that is not factual. You're excluding people, suggesting that people are late when you guys were late. You didn't follow your own bylaw. You guys didn't put Ryan Teschner on the line. Put Ryan Teschner on the line.
I already explained to you, and I have to go. I'm sorry.
Put Ryan Teschner on the line, please.
I already answered your request. I cannot.
You did not answer my request. You did not answer it.
I cannot accommodate it at this time. I hope you understand that, and I'll have to go because I have a responsibility.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say to you. You can't just hang up the phone. You need to get somebody to deal with this, and this is where I'm saying that you guys are using this method. No, listen to me.
Right now, I have to go.
You have to. No, but you don't have. Why do you have to disconnect the line?
Because I have to.
You have many lines. Are you not in the board office?
Sorry?
Are you not in the board office?
I am. Why?
Right. You have multiple lines in the board office.
But I have to take minutes, so I cannot be on a call when I have responsibilities as the board administrator.
I appreciate that, but the point that I'm making is that you guys are in the board office. It's as if you were at the space where there was the meeting being held, and someone is saying to you, you can't exclude and let me speak to the chair. You would have to address it, but you're trying to use this method now that you guys are utilizing during COVID-19 to try to exclude people because you don't want to face scrutiny, you don't want to be accountable, and you don't want to hear from the public. That's what I'm talking about.
As I already explained, it's the circumstances and the fact that I cannot put you on the line right now when we are starting a public
No, but you're in the office and Ryan could easily pick up the call. He's purposely trying to avoid it. I
It's
have
not
agenda items clearly outlined. So the point of whatever suggestion that the chair is suggesting I didn't outline, I sure did. It's in my submissions. So that's a lie.
You can
So the
write
only
an email to
no,
the
I'm
chair.
not writing anything more. I've already written it.
But I will have to.
I've already written it. I'm on the line. I've been on the line for over half an hour with you saying that I wanted to speak with the chair. And this whole time it's just excuses going around in circles, trying to suggest that you're not able to do that. So I'm saying you put Ryan Teschner on the line because he's there, because I heard his voice telling you that, speaking to you in the background.
We are starting a public board meeting, and I cannot accommodate that request.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
I apologize for it.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
And I said I cannot meet your request.
No, you said something about a public board meeting.
I said we are starting the virtual public board meeting.
Excluding the members of the public, right? Excluding members of the public. It is excluding.
But I have to go, and I thank you for
Diana, I didn't conclude this call. I said to you I want to speak to Ryan Teschner. So to pretend like I haven't asked that question and to ignore it is exactly the demonstration of what this board does. It is, because here's what the suggestion could have been. Well, let me get Ryan to call you in 5 minutes. None of that has come up. It's all exclusion. Like I said, if I was there in person, you guys would not be able to do this. And this is exactly what the public has said, that you're using this modem right now to do whatever you want to do because you can simply click a button. And it's very shameful and despicable that you would feign otherwise. So please put Ryan Teschner on the line.
As I already previously told you, I cannot do that at this time, and I'll have to go myself.
You can do that. In fact,
I provided you with the answers and the explanations.
No, that's not an answer. I gave you solutions to be able. I gave you solutions to be able to do this, and it hasn't been done. You guys are doing a virtual thing. It does not mean that somebody. So then, what you're telling me is that you're not holding a public meeting. What you're confirming to me right now is that you're not holding a public meeting, because for half an hour, more than half an hour, because it's 31 minutes now going into 32, and it's still before 9 o'clock, that you could have at some point said, okay, well, Ryan, you need to call Miss Renee. You need to speak to her because she's very upset that you guys are trying to exclude her from this meeting, just as would happen in the meeting where people actually were in attendance, which is what the act calls for, or I would be speaking to the chair. One of those two things would be happening. No, I'm saying I want them to speak to me. I want them to speak to me, because that is what my request was. I asked to speak directly. No, what I'm trying to say is that you're trying to exclude me from the entire meeting, where you could simply get one of them to call me on the line. And for more than half an hour, you guys have chosen not, because you're afraid of the scrutiny of what I've said. But let me tell you, people already know about it. And that's a shame on you guys.
And I'll have to go. I'm sorry.
Diana, the idea is that I said to you, I'm publicizing this call. I'm publicizing the ridiculousness of it. I'm publicizing the sham of what this board is claiming. We already agree that that's what you guys are, is a sham.